Hey everybody, my name is Brenna Stanford and I am so excited to have you here with me today. We are going to talk about empowering connections in women for emotional freedom and the pursuit of great purpose. You guys, I am thrilled beyond measure to be getting to hang out with you today and chatting with you. Make sure that you fill out all the things so you can get entered for all of the things. There are freebies, there are prizes and different giveaways. Make sure that you register for this chat to be able to get access to those things, and I am so excited for you. Okay, so I have a question for you before we get going. Are you a mom? I am a mom of 4, and all 4 of my children are home for the summer and they are in the house right now. So you are going to more than likely hear them, possibly see them, and there's no telling what else. So if you're a mom, I know you get it. If you're not a mom, just take a look at all the moms in your life that you know, and then you may pick up on a little bit of it and be able to get it. Just grace, right? We give each other grace and we ask for grace in return. So let's get going. Have you ever found yourself in a place where you are hurting? Where you had something happening inside of your heart, your mind, even in your circumstances of your life, and it hurt. You needed somebody to talk to. Have you ever found yourself there? And as you started to think about the names of who you might possibly be able to call or text, the minute you thought of a name, another thought came forward of why you can't call or text them, why it would be pointless for you to even try to reach them, to contact them. I have been in that place and I've experienced those thoughts, those emotions, those feelings much more than I'd like to admit. But that's the truth. I've been there. I've been hurt so many times by other people, some intentionally and some unintentionally. But regardless of the intentions, when betrayal is felt, it is felt deeply and painful. When broken trust is felt, when misguided advice and misunderstandings happen because of you just trying to express something that you're feeling or thinking or going through, and then it's all of this other stuff happens from this, and all you were trying to do was find somebody to help bear that burden and carry that load with you, for you to be able to let go of some of the things that you were currently feeling or thinking. When those things happen, they can leave scars. They can be very, very hard to come back from. But why am I starting off this conversation like this? Because this is the truth and the reality of what we experience all too often when trying to form connections and build community inside of this wonderful world that we live in and with other women. There always seems to be something, got something. Whether they want something in return for being able to listen to you, or they're just taking an inventory of the things that you're saying so that it may be used against you in the future. Trusting someone can be really hard. You're not alone in that. The unfortunate reality is that you're not alone in that. And I know that your time is valuable, and I can tell you my time is. So we're just getting straight to the point today. And I want you to think about the last time you felt that. The last time you were looking for someone to turn to. Did you end up finding someone? What were the responses like? How did it move you forward or move you backward, or maybe keep you in the same place? Got a notification, so I think we're good though. We're still rolling. So, you see, I've always had this built-in confidentiality agreement that was just inside of me. I can remember being in first grade and having conversations, conversations that first graders have, right, with others. I remember distinctly some time periods in 5th grade and 6th grade where I was this person that others came to confide in because it never left my mouth again. Like when you come to me with something, it stays with me. And it's just something that was built inside of me. And I assumed that everyone else had that same thing. I was wrong. I don't know if you know this, but I was wrong. Not everybody has built-in confidentiality, right? And it took me a long time. It took me a very long time and a lot of pain, a lot of broken trust and broken friendships and a lot of hurt and scars to find a few people, just a few people, who I could trust. And in that journey, community has become very, very important to me. I became the person who I needed, right? I invited hurting and overwhelmed women into my home to sit on my couch and let me make them coffee while they share their heart, while they share their struggles, while they share their successes, their burdens, and their joys all the same. And then we moved. And those coffee chats became virtual. And then 2020 happened, and so did everybody else's. Everybody else's coffee chats and meetings and hangouts became virtual too, right? So in the last year, I want to take just a moment on this, right? Just a moment to highlight a few of the things that we've learned and how it's important to us moving forward, right? In the last year, we have had to rise to the occasion, right? There has been an increase in depression, anxiety, and loneliness. There has also been an increase in the awareness of the need for human connection. So while there has been an increase in these hurts and struggles and pains, through that we have understood and we've become more aware that there is a need for the human connection. What is the human connection? Right? Scientific evidence strongly supports that this connection is a core psychological need that all of us human beings have. This human connection is a very strong psychological core that we all need. It is needed for our psychological, right? Our mental, our emotional, our internal well-being, for us to have this human connection. So what is it? What is a human connection? The human connection refers to the need to feel safe and have a sense of belonging to a community. Okay? The human connection refers to a sense to the need of feeling safe and belonging to a community. This community, this idea of community, is rooted in a sense of responsibility to others, for one another, right? So let's recap for just a minute, make sure we're following all of these things. We know what it's like to have painful repercussions for wanting to feel safe and belong, right? There have been painful repercussions to that human connection that is a psychological and deeply rooted need that we have inside of the core of us as a human, right? So we understand that this need is there, that we have been hurt by this need, and that also this need, the sense of belonging to a community, that the community is actually rooted in a belief and a sense of responsibility for one another. So we see how we have this ideal and then where we've been hurt inside of this ideal. And it has not always played out for the best. We see this giving and taking, this sowing and reaping relationship that is community. We see this throughout the Bible, right? And history has shown us that we can either live or die by the community that we're a part of. Because if the sowing and reaping isn't good and healthy, it becomes painful. And in some extreme cases, where this community is misled or misguided, and we end up in a community that is not where we need to be, that it has been harmful to the point of death even. So for some of us, right? For some of us, this can seem like a very great shadow that darkens the atmosphere of community. We know deeply the importance of community, but we also really we deeply know the fear associated with it. It makes us feel afraid and untrusting. We feel nervous that being known is actually very dangerous instead of being known being freeing. Right? So today I want to help you. I want to help you shine the light on this giant shadow that may be casting and overshadowing and darkening the atmosphere of community. I want to help you with 3 quick tips to discover the identity of a community, because that is so important. I want to help you identify how and what community aligns with your needs. And finally, I'm going to teach you a system that we use in Empowered Motherhood and how you can shine the light on it to find the truth. So let's take a moment and I had a typo in my notes, you guys. It says to take a moment and grab a link, but I don't think you're going to grab a link. So, are we ready to begin and just jump in? We're just going to skip over whatever that part of notes should be. And we're going to jump into the 3 quick tips to discover the identity of a community and why that's important. Okay. It's really important. If I haven't said the word important enough yet, let me say it again. It's really important to pay attention to the community that you're looking at plugging into. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." So it won't take you long to find a community that is active today and that is leading people to death. Whether physical death, emotional death, spiritual death, okay? You can also take a quick look back into history and find many other communities that did this, right? So this core thing that we have in us, we really need to pay attention to where we're plugging in and how we're connecting this core to the reality in which we live, because it could be really harmful. But on the flip side, Proverbs 27:9 says that perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. That there is pleasantness and joy and beauty inside of good community. There are many other scriptures that talk about the goodness that community brings and how counsel is helpful and you're wise for having a good counsel around you, how iron sharpens iron and you make each other better, right? The goodness, the sowing and reaping, the giving and taking exchange that comes from community and our sense of responsibility for each other, that it is beautiful. It is beautiful. And I just want to say to you right now, if you have not experienced that beauty yet, don't give up. Don't give up. Stick with us here. And I hope that by the end of this, you are going to feel empowered in this journey as well. So we see that there are 2 sides to this coin. There is always a choice between life and death, blessings and curses in Deuteronomy 31. And we are instructed to choose life. So how do we do that? Well, here's some 3 quick tips to help you with that. What purpose does this community carry? Right? So ask yourself these 3 questions. What purpose does this community carry? Who are the members of this community? And what is the tone of this community? These 3 questions are really important, and they will help you well on your way to shining the light on community and discovering their identity, right? So you want to discover the identity of the community. So the first question, what purpose does this community carry? Well, most of us are pretty accustomed to Facebook communities, right? So look over those, the ones that you belong to. Just take a look over them. There are some that have a clear purpose, and there are others that their lack of purpose actually reveals their true purpose, right? So there are some communities that are simply to be able to exist in and be there with others. And there are some that are formed around a common pain or a common goal or a common life circumstance or a common job, a common role of mom, wife, single, a common label. There are things that communities are formed around, right? So what purpose does this community carry? Right? What is the purpose of the community? How does it serve you and how can you serve it? If you were to join that community, what would you be looking to receive out of it and what would you be looking to give into it? Remember, the heart of community is giving and taking. It is not an either or, but it is an and both. That saying, it's mostly referred to in marriage, if it's all 50-50. No, it's not. It's 100% and 100%. And that's the way that true relationship, true community exists and is beneficial, because people are invested 100% into each other. So the second question, who are the members of this community? Who's in there? Who's a part of it? Who are the members is a really important question. Important being the word of the day around here. It is a really important question. And this question isn't to judge people, right? This isn't to judge them or say, oh, you're not, I'm going to be hanging out with them. You do this and you do that. That's not it. That's not the point of this. But rather, it is to get a little bit more information of who actually fills up this community, who makes it up. And is this community fitting for you? And are you fitting for them? Are the people here, what are they about? Right? What are they about? How are they going to influence you? And what do you have to offer or influence them with? Okay? So who actually builds up this community? My husband and I, we actually have spent our working lives in completely in opposite worlds. And so here recently, I have gotten to see a little bit more of his world, of his working world, and the community that is in that world. And I just said to him yesterday, I was like, I remember you saying to me, well, you don't know what it's like because you're just not in this world. I'm like, whatever, people's people. And I said to him, I was like, oh my gosh, there are things that come out of people's mouths in your world that I'd like just take me aback. Not because I'm sheltered or afraid, but because it's nothing I've been around before, or in a very long time at least. And the functioning of the way that the people in the community in that community think, in that world think, it's so different than what I've been used to, right? And so there is a fitting, right? And I don't want you to see, as you're looking at who's in this community, don't see the physical outward things. Pay attention to, as you're doing a little recon and stuff, pay attention to what's coming out of them from within them, because that's what's important. That's what God says he looks at, is what's inside of a man. The third question, what is the tone of this community? Let me just say, if there is one of these 3 quick tips that I could say to you is the most vital, see, I won't use the word important, is the most vital, it is this one. What is the tone of the community? What is going on in there? Right? This question will lead you in this journey to find out if this specific community is upbeat, or maybe they've got a lower beat. Right? If they are loud and vibrant, or if they're laid back and calm, or if they're a mixture of the both, right? Those are what I mean by tone. If you're a mom, then we know that there is a tone of voice that our children use with us, and what? And we also know that when we're trying to get their attention, there is a specific tone that we use, right? There's a tone. It's not what you said, it's how you said it. Tones are very, very important. Tones are these frequencies, it's beautiful. I won't rabbit trail on you. Okay, I won't rabbit trail on you. But if you know anything about vibrational frequency, then you know that tones are very, very important. That the rhythm and the way that it all carries and sounds, that it's just so important, all right? If you don't know about that, then I want to challenge you, if you're up for a challenge, to just like write that down on a list of things when you're just laying in bed scrolling at night, or watching while your kids are watching tunes and you're sitting there scrolling, like put the scroll up for a minute and go look up vibrational frequency and what that does for you emotionally. Okay? All right. So some of the questions that you can ask yourself when trying to discover the tone of a community. Is this uplifting and encouraging? Or is it a ventilator that really does just enough to keep you alive, but never healing the hurt, right? So if you're to share something, or you scroll back through and you look where other people have shared things, what tone is being set? Is it uplifting and encouraging and challenging? Or is it like patting on the back and, you're just, girl, you're not alone in this, and I've got this one over here doing this and this one over here doing that, and you know what some of those groups are like, right? So in this same thought wave, it's very important to see if the tone of this group is patting you on the back every time you cry and then giving you a lollipop, telling you to feel better. Or is the tone helping you to dust the dirt off, stand up, and find the strength to move forward? Those are two completely different tones. They may both be encouraging, but they're still different tones. So, as you discover the answers to those questions, your next task begins. The task of how to identify what community aligns with your needs. So this next task challenges you to get real within yourself and discover what you truly need from community. I'm going to teach you how to do that in just a moment. For now, we're going to focus on what you will do once you have discovered that, okay? So take notes and then set them on the shelf for safekeeping to use after we finish up, okay? When you discover what need you have for a community, then you will get to set an intention for the community that you are going to join. Example, if you're looking for a way to get really great connections for your business, then you may look at some communities on LinkedIn where they are more business minded, or you may find specific clubs on Clubhouses that fit those needs as well. If your needs are to find connections that work with your financial goals or becoming a homeowner, then you may seek out businesses with blogs and forums and different places online to be able to connect with others. You may seek out different communities in your actual physical community that you live in. If you are looking for moms to be able to have play dates with so that your children can just play and you can have adult conversation, right? Those are things that you are going to take into consideration when looking for a community. If you're seeking a place to be encouraged in who you are as a person and empowered in taking steps towards your best self in all the areas of your life, then maybe you'll find that empowered motherhood is the community for you. Maybe you'll find that that is where you can get connected and encouraged and loved and challenged to grow and move and step forward. Right? You get to discover your true self and what you need in this season of life without feeling any guilt or any shame over it. I'm going to say that again. You get to discover what it is that you need in this season of your life without feeling any guilt or any shame over it. Then, you will get to set an intention to join a community that is in alignment and aligned with that need. And finally, you get to become a part of that community without fear or reservation because you have done all of the things to make sure that you are getting plugged into the best community for you. You get to show up as your true self and allow yourself to be known and in turn to know others. You get to be poured into by people who do genuinely care about you. And I'm telling you, you can have this online even. I have seen more of these sorts of connections that are more supportive and more bonding online than actually in person. That's a different topic. You will get to see a space open up in your heart as you are loved and cared about, that you will be able to genuinely love and care about others. And now, the last piece. We've talked about the 3 quick tips for you to identify the identity or to discover the identity of a community. We've shared the questions to ask in order to do that. Those discovery questions. What purpose does this community carry? Who are the members of this community? And what is the tone of this community? And we have just briefly talked about with how you can identify what community actually aligns with your needs. There are endless opportunities. Don't limit yourself to Facebook or Instagram or any other social media platform, but also don't cancel them out. There are forums and blogs, clubhouse clubs and rooms and people in there. There are people in your neighborhood, in your church, in your town, in the next town over. There are people all around you. There is an opportunity for community all around you. And if you will do these things, then you will be able to shine the light on that dark shadow of community that is so scary. And you will be able to step into a community that you truly and genuinely belong to. One that is beneficial for you and one that you add value to and make it beneficial for somebody else. It's a beautiful thing. So this very last piece, this is the one thing. This is the one thing that will help you more than anything else. This one thing is our signature belief flow system. This is a system that I use with the women that I coach in Empowered Motherhood. Learning how to do this will help you in every circumstance of your life from here on out. Every single one. If you learn how to do this, you can change your entire life. Don't believe me? Hang tight. Hang with me. Take a moment. Imagine your life circumstances as a pool of water. Imagine your life circumstances as a pool of water. This pool of water can be a small puddle or the size of an ocean. Where is this water coming from? All right. These are the questions we're about to get into. So, take a big, deep breath. Fill up the bottom of your lungs and let it out slowly. Do that repeatedly. Repeat that process. With this next big, deep breath, close your eyes. Take a big, deep breath in. Close those eyes. Keep them closed as you let that big, deep breath out nice and slowly. Focus on your breathing for a moment. Keep your eyes closed and focus on your breathing. Imagine your life circumstances as a pool of water. That pool of water can be a small puddle or the size of an ocean. Get a little curious. Where is this water coming from? Surely, the water is a product of life suddenly springing up underneath you, and without any concern as to if you were ready for it or not. Maybe this pool of water is a result of a downpour, that torrential rain that came in and ruined the entirety of the circumstance. Keep breathing and notice that I'm speaking of the water in a negative tone. But why? Because when I asked you to imagine your life circumstances, what came into your mind? The limits, the negatives, the things that aren't going the way that you want them to go? Most often this is true. Most often. Keep breathing and keep your eyes closed. And let's do one more thing. Remove the preconceptions that you have attached to words like circumstances, results, and reality. Even remove those prefabricated notions of what pools of water are, puddles, and oceans. Remove even the negative thoughts attached to words like rain and suddenly. Now, continue taking big, deep, long breaths. Keep your eyes closed and begin to imagine your life circumstances. What is going on in your life right now? In Empowered Motherhood, we teach that there are 7 main areas of life. There is your worth, your salvation, your family, your home, your business or your job, your money, and your social life. What are the reality? What is the reality and the circumstances of those areas of your life in this moment? Imagine that reality as a pool of water, or pools of water, depending on which way your brain works and where your imagination takes you in this. Think about how the water got there. There may be a spring bubbling up water, or maybe rain falling. These things came from life. These things happen in the fallen world that we live in. But now imagine yourself stepping back and taking a bigger look at this pool of water. Is it a puddle? Is it an ocean? Is it a pond or a lake or something in between? Is that circumstance a dingy and dirty body of water? Or is it a tropical paradise surrounded by warmth and beauty? What are the circumstances that are in your life? What do they feel like right now? Does the water make you feel dirty and in need of a shower? Or does it make you feel refreshed and pure? Think about your reality. Keep your eyes closed and keep on breathing. Then begin to notice there's a stream of water that is making its way through the landscape and into your circumstantial pool of water. Is this stream big and loud and torrent? Is this stream small and unnoticeable? Does this stream threaten to sweep you away so that you don't get too close to it? Do you feel welcomed by this stream and free to step your toes in and splash and dance? With your eyes still closed and your breath still long, slow, and deep, consider this. The pool of water is your life. the circumstances and reality that you live in. The water there may be exactly what you want or completely the opposite of what you ever wanted. Yes, life may have added some water into it through a spring or the rain, but the state of that pool of water is due to the stream of water flowing into it. Take another look at that stream of water. Pay closer attention to it than to the pool. Imagine this stream in your mind. Continue breathing deeply and slowly, releasing all the air that you breathe in. This stream has some rocks that it flows over and some curves in the landscape that it flows through. These are your actions, your feelings, your thoughts, and at the very top of that stream, your belief. This is the wellspring of water that is driving that stream downward and into your circumstantial pool. How does your stream look? Is it scary and loud? Is it calm and enjoyable? As you are taking one last look at your stream, repeat after me. I am in complete control of my stream. I am in complete control of my stream. Open your eyes and take one more long, deep breath. This is essentially the belief flow. Your belief, that pool of water, that spring at the top of the stream that runs down into the pool of water. This spring at the top is your belief, and it drives your thoughts. Your thoughts influence your feelings. Out of your feelings, you make choices, you take actions, and the result of all of your choices is the reality that you're currently living in. This may feel either reassuring or harsh. I want to ask you to let this feel reassuring and empowering, because this is where you get to have control over your life. That you are not left to be the victim of somebody else's choices, somebody else's thoughts, something else that happened, or some other circumstance. This pool of water that you just imagined in your mind, and the stream that ran down into it, this is all within your ability. If you don't like what you saw and felt, you get to change it. So, how will you use this to help you shine the light on that giant shadow that haunts your fear and connections? How are we going to use this? So, you're going to start right there at your thoughts that just came into your head, or the feelings that you began to feel. Begin writing those down, all right, in a linear form, okay? You can, if you need to just start journaling them all out, journal them all out. If you need to speak them, but then write them in this linear form where you have belief, thoughts, feelings, actions, reality. The reality is that pool of water that you saw. And each of the steps of the belief flow, again, is the rocks or the curves, the things that lead the stream down, the stream of water down. So you start your belief flow where your awareness begins. So if your awareness begins with I just run from community. If it begins with actions, I run from community. I want everybody at arm's length. I don't want anybody in and close. Or maybe it is every time I enter a community, I end up hurt and broken. Somebody betrays my trust. I just no good. Right? Start there. Start with the actions. Well, what are you feeling inside of that community? What are you feeling? You could be feeling scared. You could be feeling worried or nervous. You could be feeling whatever. Write down those feelings. And then find the thoughts that are influencing those feelings. this isn't going to happen. This never happens for me. I always end up getting hurt. I'm going to say this. Somebody's going to come back to it with a harsh comment. Nobody's going to understand. I'm the only one doing this. I'm the only one going through this. Whatever it is, write down all of the thoughts that flood your mind. And when one of those thoughts, start to think, what is feeding those thoughts? And you're going to have some other phrases start coming through, and they may be forms of beliefs. They may be some thoughts that you're thinking, but there's going to be one that's like, sticks with you. Oh my goodness, this is it. This is my belief. My belief is that I'm not good enough, that I can't ever trust anybody because I'm not good enough to be worthy of anybody's trust. Nobody actually cares enough about me to have confidence and to not hurt me, right? There's something. And then this is where the power comes in. That's that belief. That's at the root of it all. This is where you get to shine the light on that belief. You get to acknowledge that it's there. Acknowledge that belief. And then rewrite it. Then you get to rewrite it to speak truth. And here's a really cool fact about our brains, not our souls and our consciousness, our brains. Our brain believes that things are true because we tell it that it is true. So if you believe that you are unworthy, you have been telling yourself and letting other people speak into you that you are unworthy. You get to rewrite the truth that you believe. You get to decide what you believe is true. And your brain, your mind, will believe that as you keep telling it. There are plenty of scriptures that will help you to discover the truth and what a true community is, and true friendship and true relationship, and how we need each other. There are lots of scriptures about that. So as you rewrite your belief, do a quick word search in some of the scriptures and find truth about what is actually intended and what real community is. Put my feet down real quick because my baby looks like he's about to fall off the chair. Let's maybe make him some space as we wrap this up. Guys, my kids actually haven't interrupted as much as I thought they would have. So, after you find the truth and you rewrite your belief, then you begin to work that belief flow forwards. You started working it backwards. Now you get to work it back forward. From your belief, you write new thoughts. You write the new thoughts that you're going to think. You then write the new feelings that you're going to feel and the new actions that you are going to take. And finally, you get to rewrite the new reality that you're going to live in. You may be thinking this is too good to be true, but there is more and more and more science every day that backs this. And there have always been plenty of scripture to show us that this is truth. And that this is the way we were created to be. That way we would not be victim to anybody else's words ever. God created you with the ability to rewrite your beliefs and your thoughts and have control over your mind. Take captive every thought. Renew your mind daily. As a man thinks, so is he. And as you think, so you will be. And it all stems from your belief. This is how you become empowered in your connections and find emotional freedom. This is how you do it. And I hope that this has helped you. I hope that you have found value in this today. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much for sharing and for being a part of this and for taking the time to really invest in yourself and learn how to do this. It takes practice. Don't get upset at yourself if the first time you do a belief flow, you're like, takes practice, you're good. But you've got this. And I'm here for you if you need me. You can find me at brennastanford.us. That's where I am. You can find me there and we will connect, right? We will make that empowered connection. That's it. Thank you. Cannot wait to connect with you after the summit.